Real life, real talk, and really good self-care. This is Hot Mess Mums, brought to you by Magpie, beauty and balance, powered by the natural benefits of magnesium. They say, save the best for last. That's right. Yeah, there we go. It's already going wrong. And I've been looking forward to chatting to you all day. And it feels so weird because it feels like we've met in person before, but we haven't, although I have interviewed you on numerous occasions during your comedy tours. Alyssa Kyria, a.k.a. The Funny Mummy. Welcome to the Hot Mess Mums Club
Thank
podcast.
you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I can't believe that we haven't actually met before in person because it feels like I really know you.
Yes, well, we voice note regularly.
We do actually, and they're like podcasting themselves, our voice notes, aren't they? They're about 10 minutes long half the time. So it feels like we've done this already. But yeah, and you honestly always interviewed me when I was doing my tours and everything, and I loved coming on your show, and I just so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Yay.
I earlier on, one of our lovely girls here was saying how much her mum adores you.
Really?
And
that's nice.
How much you make her laugh.
Aww.
Your videos, you know the one that I said about the other day, which was the I'm feeling fine.
That one.
Babes. Oh my God, you've got to go on Instagram. I've shown it to absolutely everyone. I just couldn't stop crying because I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
It's
I need
so
to do more of
funny.
those because
You
it is
are so funny.
Thank you so much.
do.
That one. We all say that we're fine when we're really not, and I love doing a bit of comedy about things that can make you cry or laugh. So you might as well just have a laugh if you can.
And they're so relatable.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
your USP, though, isn't it? That you are so real with
thank
it.
you.
You know, where did it all start for you? The comedy. Let's go way back.
Okay, right. I was talking with a northern accent now. I'm from Manchester. Right, well, I'm an actress, trained as an actress back in the day, and always wanted to act, always wanted to perform. I was always the class clown at school, but I never thought I'd do comedy. I just thought, no, I'm going to be an actress, I'm going to be on the stage, I'm going to win an Oscar. That was, the plan. That was the plan. Just small plans, But then I left drama school and nothing happened. Like I had an agent, didn't get any auditions. And I was like, oh my God, this is awful. And I felt so depressed and really lost. And I didn't know what to do, really. And then I think it was an open mic night at Madame Jojo's in Soho, this club in Soho that is closed now, sadly. And they were advertising for people to just come and do anything. You could do anything, like sing a song, do an acting monologue, do anything you like. And I thought, well, I'm going to write a little something because I used to do stuff at school, I thought I was funny anyway, and my mum said I was funny. So
You are funny.
Yeah, but at the time, well, thank you. But at the time, I didn't think I could do comedy, but I just thought I'd give it a go because I was really fed up with just waiting for my agent to get me a job and waiting for the phone to ring.
It's such a tough industry, right?
Oh, it's so tough, and it's all in someone else's hands, and that it just didn't work for me at all. So I thought, right, I'm going to write something myself and go on stage and just do it and see what happens. And I always remember waiting backstage before I went on to do my first ever comedy performance, really. And there was a fire exit right next to the stage to go up on the stage. And I was like, if I just left now, nobody would know because I was so scared. I just remember seeing that fire exit, but I did it. I went up there and got my first laugh. And to get a laugh for something that you've written is such a high that I didn't know. I was like, oh, I love this. And I love that I could just put myself on stage. So it was a bit bonkers, really. I did like that gig and I thought, right, well, I'll just book an Edinburgh show then, and just booked an hour's slot for myself, I think that summer. So crazy. Wow. I hadn't even done any gigs. And I went and did a one-woman show at Edinburgh, ended up doing a few more, started gigging across the country. And it really just started my whole comedy career, and also started my career of creating my own stuff. So after that, I booked my own show at Madame Jojo's and booked other acts to be on the bill with me. And then I started just creating other shows, and then, and I've carried on doing that to this day, really. So it was about the comedy, but also about having that control over your career a bit more.
For a lot, when you're starting out in comedy, it's not very sort of affluent, is it? You're not getting paid a lot of money. So how did you manage doing all of that and surviving?
Right. Well, I did some fabulous, glamorous jobs. I dressed as a banana in Oxford Street handing out flyers. I worked on reception. I temped in a bank. I mean, just so many random things. Wow. I was like, Office Angels was my place. I used to go and just wait there. I always remember this because it's so funny, thinking about back in the day, wait there on Oxford Street for a job to come in and then they just send you to whatever random office. So I'd be doing that during the day and then gigging at night. And when you first start out in comedy, you're the driver to get a gig. So I would drive bigger comics around, all the way around the country just to get 5 minutes on stage for free. And yeah, so you're like an unpaid driver.
God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But again, Kelly, I didn't like that very much either. I thought, this is rubbish. I'm not getting paid. I'm driving everyone. So that's when I started setting up my own shows. And then I got paid because I was the one dealing with the venue. I booked the acts. I sold the tickets. So I started doing that quite early on, actually. And that was another way of me earning money because I just thought, this doesn't seem quite right. Why am I doing this? And it's a kind of rite of passage. So I did do it. But I found other ways, setting up my own nights. I also saw that the cabaret circuit was better paid and a little bit more glamorous than the comedy circuit. Because the comedy circuit, I was doing character comedy as well, because I started off not being myself on stage because I came from an acting background.
Okay.
My main character was a Greek footballer's wife called Ariadne, because I'm half Greek. And I thought, she was away. She was like, there's all these glamorous Greek women that I sort of grew up with and seeing that they were so confident in that kind of European fabulous way.
Yeah.
And I thought, that I could do with a bit of that on stage because I was so nervous. So I put on this kind of Greek, fabulous, glamorous, all in leopard print and big hair. And she was like, hello, darlings. And her catchphrase was, don't be jealous. Like, she was just so fabulous. She just thought everyone was really jealous of her. So I was doing that anyway. And I thought, well, I was doing that at comedy gigs, and then I saw these cabaret gigs where they had all burlesque on and all sorts, but they sometimes had a comedy act. And I thought, they're paying more, and you get, like, you're in a nice dressing room, and it's all a bit more glam. So I auditioned for the Café de Paris cabaret night that was running at the time, and it was quite a big one. I had to go for the auditions, and I got it, so I became one of their comedy acts, and that was amazing. So that was stepping into the cabaret circuit. So just all sorts, Kelly. Anything I could do to get myself on stage, to get myself a bit of money from either running shows or, working on reception. Like a combo.
And then, so now it is your own content as the funny mummy, and it is about mum life, isn't it? Because you are a mum now.
Yeah.
So things have changed a lot. Was that, once you had your beautiful family, was that there for you? That's what you wanted to do, sort of talk about your real life in that way and be funny about it?
Well, it wasn't the plan, actually, because I honestly thought, I experienced quite a lot of sort of depression when I was pregnant with Lola, and I was really scared going into having a baby, and I think that kind of sort of triggered it as well, because I was thinking, oh my God, my career's over. Like, my career is going around the country doing comedy and doing this. How am I supposed to do that? I've barely got a career. I'm clinging on to one, and now I'm going to have a baby and it's all going to go away. And that was a real worry for me. And it was one of the things that I used to get really stressed and depressed about when I was pregnant. And so I didn't know that was going to happen. And I always think it's the most ironic thing that the thing that I thought was going to be the death of my career, becoming a mum, has actually, I think, been the thing that was supposed to do all along. I really feel like this is what I'm supposed to do now. Make mums laugh, give them a boost. Make them feel like it's not just them who has no idea what they're doing. It feels really right that I'm doing that. But at the time, no idea. And so Lola was tiny, and I wanted to do some comedy, and I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't go out at night anymore. You can't, can you?
Yeah, well, everything changes.
You just can't.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can't do a normal job, let alone a night job. That's
exactly
not going to happen.
It's hard to know what you can do, actually, isn't it, really? To be honest, what can we do? Can't leave the house. But me and my friend Carly were talking about that, and she lived down the road, and we thought, we could try and do some daytime gigs for mums, and they could bring their babies, and we could kind of combine comedy and babies and see what happens. So that was the start of Bring Your Own Baby Comedy, which was a company we set up together. So again, I was doing my thing, you know, setting up gigs, whatever. So we set up these gigs and we didn't think anyone would come, but it sold out. And now we ran it for 7 years and now it's still a national company. I've stepped away now, but still running them all over the country. And we did them everywhere. And I started doing those comedy shows as Ariadne, as I was normally doing. But I thought, what am I doing? I'm doing a character who's never had kids. She's this glamorous footballer's wife talking to mums and doing comedy for them. And I thought I should just do it as me, really, and talk about being a mum. But I was so scared, Kelly, because coming from an acting background, I always had that sort of the mask of being someone else was what I clung to, you know. Yeah. So I remember the first time I did comedy as me, the funny mummy, in front of a room full of mums and babies. I was absolutely terrified, and I rushed it, and I was talking like a million miles an hour, and I was just all over the place. But I did it. I got through it, and I just kept doing it because we had all these shows. Again, it was brilliant because we booked our own shows, so we had 3 or 4 gigs a week, and I was performing for mums. So that really got me connected with what, you know, I was going through it. Lola was tiny at the time as well, and I was chatting to all these mums, so I was getting to know what was happening for them. So it was just brilliant material. So I just kept going with that. And that's how the Funny Mummy all started.
The creative side, for anyone that works in a creative industry where you don't just get the job, we're sort of told, aren't we? You know, you pass your maths, your English, science, you go into maybe a more corporate job, you know, you buy a house, you do all those normal things. But no one really, and it's still the same in schools, there's not this allowance for the creative ones, the ones that, you know, and I remember I always knew I wanted to be on the radio, and my nan was desperate for me to be the head of customer service for Tesco. Like, it was her long life dream.
That's very specific.
Very specific. You get a great pension, you know, you get your own car. And
she was after those discounts.
Oh, she was, yeah. And I tried it for a while.
Did you?
I did. In between doing things for free.
Yeah.
You know, and it was different for me. I lost my mum when I was 19, so it was quite hard. I'd left university and then... But I did it, and then all of a sudden got asked to go and do like a month on what they used to call them RSLs. They were like pop-up radios for free, but you get to do everything. You get to read the news, you get to, you know, but we don't pay you.
Well,
classic,
isn't it? But very exciting.
So I said to her, I'm quitting Tesco. I'm going to do this. And she was like, oh my God.
She's devastated.
She was devastated. She paid for my petrol. She paid for my lunches. I never would have, you know, and I never gave up on getting there and getting in. And with you, you know, that drive that you have, because it's not a normal job.
No.
And a door just doesn't open an interview where they say, well done, you've passed, we'll take you on. It just isn't like that. There's no routine, not one specific.
Yeah.
So you make a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah.
Were the people around you, family and friends, that were like, what are you doing? Like, can't you just get a normal job 9 to 5? You know, how was that? How did you have that support?
I did have the support, but it was a bit of both. Like, God, really, you're putting yourself through this. This is awful.
Why are you doing it?
What was it like? Everyone kept saying, 98% of actors are unemployed. I was like, oh, that's lovely. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's really helpful.
That's amazing. Thank you. And yeah, they just didn't. They understood that I loved it and I really wanted to do it, but it would be like, you know, year after year of not cracking it. But again, I also had my eye on the wrong prize, I think, as well, Kelly, and I'm only realising this now. Kind of the comedy stuff happened as a result of me not doing very well at acting and not getting the jobs. And I've, until quite recently, gone, oh, well, you know, I'm a failed actress, not noticing all the other stuff that's been going on with comedy, you know, because that was my original goal. You know, when you have these visions of success when you're younger, that you become sort of wedded to, that you think, oh, yeah. And so I was like, right, I'll be successful when I'm on telly or I'm on a soap or I'm on the West End stage. And because those things didn't happen, I didn't really acknowledge the things that were happening with comedy. So... And even with all of it, it's, you know, as you know with this game, it's really weird. You think you are doing well, but then also it feels like there's this in crowd that you can't get into, or a club where people are doing well and you want to get in that club, or you want to start getting this job or that job. And it's endless, you know, it's just an endless cycle. But so I think my family were worried about me because I was always trying, always a bit down about how it was going, but I'd just keep going. So I think they were, you know, I think they also wanted me to do something more normal, so I would just have, you know, an easier time of it, basically, you know. But I just, you know, I didn't listen to them. And they were so sweet. They came to my Edinburgh shows. I remember, oh my gosh, my first Edinburgh show, I did all these really random characters, and it was a bit rude, Kelly, it was a bit rude. And I remember my mum, it was in this tiny little pub in Edinburgh, like really, really small, like back of a pub, little room. And I was doing, my mum came up to Edinburgh to see it, and I was doing one of my characters, and I said something a bit rude, and all I heard from the audience was, "Oh goodness!" And that was my mum. It's like, Mum, she just couldn't cope with like what I was saying on the stage. She couldn't keep it in, but she was there, bless her. And my dad came up, and they came to watch like a midnight showing of some random, like I think I was offered a gig to promote my gig at this show at midnight, and again another sort of back end of a pub somewhere, and they came along, and you know, those shows were brutal. I mean, I did one show in Edinburgh, you know, 2 people were in the audience, one was asleep. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it was like hardcore, you know. So they were very supportive.
I wanted to talk to you about that as well, because that's also something that, you know, people don't think about. They might see you now and be like, oh gosh, she's amazing, and look at everything she's doing, she's so funny, she's so talented. But all that stuff that goes into it, often when you turn up to these gigs in the early days, you don't really know what you're getting audience-wise. So my wonderful friend Liesl, I know she won't mind me saying this, she's a woman of many talents, but she secretly harbours the comedy, and that's something she'd love to do. And she, at one point, was doing lots of different gigs that she... again, was travelling all over, and you know, she's a mum of 3, a single mum of 3, and doing everything. And she had this one gig that we went to support her at, and it didn't go so well. And the room, I remember getting into this room and just thinking, this atmosphere is really weird. And there were like drunk men in there, you know, there were really young girls, really older women. I was thinking, this is a really weird crowd, and it was like one of those nights where they're all different comedians, and they come on for so long. Yeah. And it didn't go so well for her. They didn't receive her well. There were no applause or laughter.
Or laughs.
And it was really, and I sat there, and then she went off stage, and this young girl who was about 17 behind me started pulling her to bits. And I just couldn't help myself.
Oh, go on, Kelly.
And I did. And I turned around, I said, that's my friend. And I said, she's a single mum of 3. I said, travelling around doing this. I said, would you be able to get up there and do that?
Right.
I said,
Kelly.
This room and crowd, disgusting, just despicable. Just clap. Just cheer someone on.
Yeah.
And
good for you. Yes.
But she's made of Teflon. Like, she was just like, afterwards, it's fine. It's how it goes.
Oh, what a legend.
Inside, I'd have been dying.
Yeah.
Were the times like that for you in the early days?
Oh yeah, loads.
What do you do? But how do you keep going when that happens?
Well, I cried a lot. I'm not like your friend. You know, I get really upset about it. Like,
it's hard not to take it personally.
Yeah,
though, isn't it?
Really hard. And I'm a sensitive sausage, so it was really tough. I mean, gosh, I mean, there's so many. I mean, Edinburgh. You know, the Edinburgh festivals are pretty brutal anyway. But I remember one. God, I mean, there's a few, but there was one, again, my show was quite rude, right? And for some reason, because it was on at 6 o'clock, for some reason, I think it was the 6 o'clock thing, one show, I'd heard that it was sold out. I was like, oh my God, that's so exciting. But as I got out there on stage, everyone in the audience, minimum age 70, minimum. There was a woman in the front row on a drip, Kelly. She was 90 if she was a day. And I was like, oh my God. And I started off doing, and I was editing in my head thinking, I can't say that. But obviously then I'd have no show left. So I had to just say, you know, do the show kind of as it was. And it was silence, like absolute silence, apart from the woman. There was a woman, I think in the second row, who put her head in her hands for some of it. Absolute silence. And I was just crying I was getting changed into different characters and crying.
Oh, God.
And a friend of mine was there, I think, with her husband, and he was like, "Oh, she's laughing, and she's laughing. I can hear her laughing backstage." And my friend was like, she's not laughing. No, she's not. She's crying." So I was crying in between characters. Just awful. It was like one of the worst shows ever, and I still remember it. I've had some absolute corkers, but the fact that I've still got on stage afterwards and carried on has has just, I suppose, made me stronger. But it's not nice.
No.
It's not. It's, I mean, you kind of get through it and whatever, but I do get really affected by it. I mean, I suppose less now because I think, well, if I'm not your cup of tea, that's okay. And it is just the case. I go to see comedy, and I know some people are not my cup of tea, and I won't. But I do tend to just laugh anyway because I just think it's really hard to get up there.
Yeah.
So, but
that silence
it's
is
the silence. It's horrible.
I remember just wanted to get on the stage and do this to her.
Yeah, protect. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I was so angry with all of these people in this room that were so.
Yeah.
And I just thought, who do you think you are?
Too right.
You get up there and do it and see what it's like.
Yes. Can you come to my shows?
Oh my God,
please.
yeah.
You're amazing. Well, thankfully, yeah. I mean, now because I'm doing shows called The Funny Mummy.
I was going to say, your audience now.
Now they know what they're getting, and I just had the most amazing time. And so thinking about these stories makes me go, oh God, oh thank goodness, this doesn't happen anymore. I just thought of one other actually, talking about like aggressiveness. I did this show in this pub where half of them were there to see the comedy, and the other half were just these old men who'd been drinking all day, who were just there. And I was doing my Greek character. And I got up and I was hosting, so I had to keep going back because I was the host to introduce the other acts. And I got on stage and I went, "Hello, darlings." And this man shouted out, "Oh, we hate foreigners."
Oh, God.
I know. And I was like, "Oh." And he was wearing this yellow scarf, right? And I went, "Oh, well, I hate your scarf." And he went, "Oh, my dad's just died and that was the last thing he left me." So then it turned like, he got the audience on side with his dead dad story. And so then it was just this ridiculous back and forth between me and this man. And I had to keep going. But I think that was the only time I actually got drunk during a show. So by the end of it, I was like, well, sod this. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's brutal. But it's better now. It's better now. Thank goodness it's better now. Kelly.
I love it. Well, it is better now because there's so much going on for you. You do your tours.
Yes.
You're very big on social media as well.
Thank you.
You know, it has really. So you mentioned, I missed it. I was too busy focusing on, I'm not acting. I missed all those.
I missed
But
it.
now do you sit
more?
back and
I do,
look and
yeah.
think, look at me, look what I'm doing.
I do more, definitely. And I'm really excited about that, actually, because I mean, I still love acting, and I'm still available. I think
it'd be great on EastEnders.
Thanks, darling.
Bloody brilliant.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Still available.
That might still happen,
Well, exactly. You never know.
Just because it didn't happen then, and obviously for a reason.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's the thing. And I'm just starting to appreciate more what I am doing, and actually, it just feels right. Like I was saying earlier, that I make mums laugh and make them, people tell me to feel like, oh, I thought it was just me. That's the thing I get, people saying to me the most, which I just love because I'm like, oh yeah, well, I thought it was just me. So it helps me too. And I really think this is what I'm supposed to do. And you just find, like doing this, and you just think, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yes.
And I don't think I realised that. And it's taken me a while to, but I'm, really, really enjoying myself. And I've just set up these nights called Mum's Night Out Comedy, which I'm really excited about. So I want to start doing them all over the country because I've been to comedy nights with my mum mates, and you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know whether the comedy's going to be for you. And so I thought, after doing the Funny Mummy tour, I thought I'd set up a night where I'd book the acts, and I know that they'll go down brilliantly with a room full of women and mums who are just there to have a laugh with their mum mates.
Sounds amazing.
It's really fun, and the atmosphere is just gorgeous. It's just, it's wild and brilliant, and it's really fun. So I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. And then and it all links in with what I'm doing online as well. So it's really fun.
Hands up if you're exhausted but can't actually switch off. Yep, that's one for all of us, and there's a reason that happens. When cortisol stays elevated and magnesium is depleted, your body literally can't wind down properly. Magpie's lavender and patchouli bath salts are designed with that in mind. A warm bath, a scoop of salts, 20 minutes, that's it. The magnesium absorbs through your skin while the lavender does its thing. And your nervous system gets the message that it's safe to rest. It's not a miracle, but it is science. And it's $9.99 at magpieskin.co.uk. Worth every penny of a good night's sleep. Use our Hot Mess Mums 20 voucher code for 20% off. How do you find being online? I ask everybody this. Natasha Hamilton from Atomic Kitten said that, it's difficult. She finds it hard. We didn't come from a generation where that was a job or a thing. I'm going to say thankfully, because I'm kind of glad I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
But now we have to use it to be visible, to be seen, to share our message, to get people to find us.
Yes.
It's quite hard though, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you make it look easy, and your videos are so funny, and they brighten my day. They brighten lots of other people's day as well. By the way, you keep it real too.
Yes, I do.
And we'll talk about that and the hormone stuff, because you do talk about that as well.
Yeah.
There's real sort of serious stuff with you. But how do you find navigating that? Because I guess you were told, look, you need to be on there. You've got to have a following on there.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose not told, but it was just a thing, wasn't it? But well, I mean, I saw it happening, and to be honest, I thought, well, this is really exciting, because again, I've never been picked or chosen like throughout my career. It's always been like I didn't get booked for the gigs, I didn't get the acting jobs. I've just made them myself. And again, social media just felt like another opportunity to do that. And I was like, well, I could make my own comedy on there. I could make sketches and have them out to people within seconds, just on my phone. So I find it so exciting, and that's what I love about it. And the other thing I love is that I can do a comedy sketch 1 minute, and then the next minute do a video just chatting about how I'm really struggling with my mental health or my hormones. And I can do both. And I just love that. I just think it's amazing, because you're just sort of bringing your whole self to it. Whereas I tend to in my shows, I mean, obviously I don't, stop my shows to have a cry about my hormones. I mean, I do make jokes about it, but it's different. Obviously, my shows is more like leaning on the comedy vibe. So on Instagram, I can do the whole lot. So I think it's really, really great. I love it. But I don't know whether this is just me, because I've got ADHD, so I get obsessed with things, like really addicted. So I've got addicted to it. I mean, I think about it all the time. I've got a list on my phone of sketches. There's so many ideas. It's just crazy. And then I will dump them all to do whatever I'm thinking of in the moment. And it's hard to stop myself just completely obsessing about it. And also getting obsessed about, the followers and the views, which is tough when
It's the validation.
It's the validation, yeah. Exactly.
The ADHD is such a big thing now in women.
Yes.
In sort of their late 30s and 40s.
Yes.
So are you diagnosed?
I am, actually.
Okay.
Yes, I am. And I got a diagnosis of ADHD enhanced by perimenopause, because...
Yeah, just bring it out.
It does. Fun fact. Yeah. It feels like the wheels are coming off. And I think I always was a bit like that, but now it's just gone all, completely bonkers. It's just full on. I didn't know that. And so, again, I was listening to your lovely episode with the hormone healer about you saying it's an awakening. And then for me, I feel like it's an unraveling as well.
Yeah.
But almost in a good way, because you can't hide. With ADHD, I think I've been masking for so long.
And girls tend to do that.
Exactly. And I didn't even realise I suppose. I just thought I was really weird and the only one who was like this. So I just needed to not show people that.
Do you look back at times like when you're at school and when you were young and think, that makes sense now?
Definitely. So much. And I just want to go give myself a cuddle, because especially there's a thing with ADHD called RSD, which is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, where you just get desperately, desperately upset if you think someone's upset with you, or you think if anyone's angry at you, and the littlest thing can make you think that. And I was bullied as well, so people were not being nice to me, and I then internalized a lot of that, and it was just a really heightened sensitivity, really, really sensitive to any kind of rejection. And now knowing that I've got ADHD, it does make a lot of sense why it all affected me so deeply.
And we're told a lot at those points, you're just too sensitive. You need to toughen up.
Yeah.
I'm not diagnosed, and it is something that I think I will go down that path. But my therapist just turned around to me one day and went, I think you have ADHD.
Yeah.
And then started asking me questions about all sorts of things. But when I was at school, and I was like, oh my God. And then she said to me, what are you like at returning things. You know, when a parcel's delivered and it's not right, what do you like about packing it all up and going to the post office? And I said, I can't do things like that. I don't pack up parcels and do return labels. I don't, and all these little things.
Interesting.
And it's so, now everybody's different, but then I talked to other people, and I was talking to someone who's 34, so younger than me, the other week, who said, I've definitely got it. And we were comparing notes about things, and we were so similar.
Yeah.
And but my therapist also talked about that sensitivity and the rejection and everything with it, really. And I think, you know, when you start to look at it all and you put it into place, it actually feels nice to think, well, you know, A, you're not alone, but B, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because how that we all think we're all wired the same is just ridiculous. Yeah. And I think we're schooled to think that when we're at school, you know, that we're all... Yeah. But we're not. A lot of us are square pegs trying to be fitted in round holes, and we don't fit. Yeah. And I think there's so much on that, actually. And I think when your hormones start to go haywire, all of that stuff starts to come out.
Absolutely. And I think, diagnosed or not, you know, self-diagnosed is completely valid, I think, as well, like 100%. And it's just another tool to be kind to yourself. Yes. That's how I see it, whether you're diagnosed officially or self-diagnosed, or, you know, your therapist has told you, or whatever it is. For me, I've just been like, oh, that's the RSD. And it's almost like separating myself from it a tiny bit. Like, for example, I did a show a while ago and the whole audience were laughing. One woman was not. And my RSD zoomed in onto that woman. And then I came off stage and I'm going, oh, this show is rubbish. I can't believe it's dreadful. And then I went, whoa, hold on a minute. That's that. That is what that is. It's your rejection sensitivity, zoning in on that. Yeah. That's not what's actually happening. Look at the rest of the crowd. You know, her cat might have just died. You just don't know. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I hope it didn't. I hope she didn't. I hope she did just not find me funny. But also, it's okay if she doesn't find me funny. It's not the end of the world. But it's also, so it's having a little bit of separation from it, in the sense of going, oh, that's why that's happening. Yeah. And also, like I said, just another tool to try and be a bit kinder to ourselves, because that's the goal, I think, Kelly, with all of this, isn't it? Just to find ways to understand ourselves a bit better and to be a bit kinder to ourselves. And the more knowledge we've got about ourselves helps that.
Absolutely. I think it's really important. And I think those conversations need to be, you know, they need to happen more.
Yeah, totally.
Because it is almost like going in. It's like, I don't know, so many things I could say about it, but it's almost like a new door opening, really, to a lot of stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's nice.
In that way, when you think about it, you know, those things start to make sense to you. So you can be aware of that, like what happened.
Exactly.
I get terrible overwhelm.
Oh, same.
It's awful. Yeah. And my head feels like it's going to explode.
Yes.
And I can't bear anything at the time. I'm just like, I can't deal with any of this.
Absolutely,
at all.
yeah.
You know,
and I get that. I can really relate to that.
I mean, HRT helps it.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree. But, and it's that overwhelm, and then often being in a position, you know, as mums and working mums, that you have to still do something or whatever it is. And then I have, you know, if I'm in that overwhelmed state and I still have to go do the school run, I'm like, oh, like I can't.
I feel awful because the kids will get in the car and they'll be like, are you okay? And I'll be like, I've just not had a good day, I just can't talk at the moment. And I just can't deal with anybody at all.
I get it. Yeah, me too.
And I think people around you don't get it. You know, I think, you know, people think, oh, you're just bonkers. Like, what's wrong with you? Or, you know, God.
Yeah, and I still apologise for myself and have a bit of shame around it, which I'm working on, because when I get into that state where, oh, sorry everyone, I'm just I've gone all over the place, or, oh, sorry, I can't, you know, make your dinner right now, or I can't even function to think where that thing is that you're asking me for, or what's for dinner, or where, you know, what class am I taking Lola to, what the, you know, this is my life basically in like 3 sentences, but all those things, and I can't do it. And then I think as mums, there's a lot of shame in that. And so when my brain goes into, you know, overwhelm, whatever, I feel really like, oh, I should be able to do this. So I'm trying to find ways to go, no, right now I can't. I need to just not do it for a minute and do something to help myself. But it's difficult.
It is. And you have spoken very openly about perimenopause as well. So how was that for you? How did it hit you? Was it like a slow, gradual thing? It kind of was with me. It just got worse and worse. Or was it something that just happened very quickly?
I think it was a gradual thing, and it snuck up on me because I also think as women we're used to feeling a bit shit. Also, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can swear.
Like some of the time, and I thought, I've got endometriosis anyway, so I thought, oh, maybe it's a flare up of that, or maybe I'm just feeling a bit rubbish, and then I started, but the brain fog, that's when I really thought, hold on a minute, what is happening?
And every guest on this season has said exactly that's the number one, the first thing. Yeah, it's not the symptom that we're all told about. Yeah. It's always hot flashes,
exactly.
Or whatever. I don't, but that, it's so...
Yes, exactly. So I think I was feeling sluggish and, no energy, but I was like, whatever, used to that, you just carry on. But then with the brain fog, I'm dopey anyway, and I forget things a lot, and I find it really hard to, just function generally with my brain. And then I thought, no, I don't need this as well. And then I was getting really hot in the night. So not hot flushes as such, but just...
Like hot skin.
Yeah, hot skin, and just waking up boiling. I was like, what is going on? So that's when I thought, right, here we go. Perimenopause central. So I went and got myself some HRT, and I got it the first time a lot easier than I think you did.
Yes.
But the journey with it since then has not been brilliant. But at least I was given some. But I feel that if you're given some, you're just sent off with it, and that they didn't check on me to see how's it going, or and it turns out I wasn't actually absorbing it into my skin, with the gel, and then the symptoms all came back, and I was like, oh, I should be all right now because I've got the HRT. But then I started getting anxious, and the brain fog, and everything. So it's taken ages, and dealing with really kind of unhelpful doctors that I'm actually in the middle of complaining about because I'm just so fed up with it.
Good for you.
Yeah, thanks. And well, so, you had a similar thing, didn't you?
I did. I had been told so many times, like, it's just stress. Oh, you're too young.
Yeah.
You let's have some antidepressants and sleeping pills all in one go. I mean, imagine it just wasn't for me at all. I didn't want to take that route, but also I was like, how am I going to function? I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Like I don't, and I think yourself that isn't right for you. What's right for you and what's not. Of course. But I did end up going down the private route.
Yes.
With Dr. Holly Carden,
yes,
and she features on this season.
Amazing.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
But then I got my prescription through the NHS, and that was also difficult as well. With a very difficult conversation, we were messaging each other. I went on my Instagram about it and had a big reaction from women on there because they just didn't want to give me it.
No. No.
And there's so much around that. Things need to change and be better.
They do. And they just need to look after us better. I think I did a bit of the same as you. I did a bit of the private route to try and find, the right thing. Because, again, I tried with the gel. It wasn't working. I've tried this. But then throughout the whole process, going back to my GP and them just saying, no, are you on the max dose? Or are you anxious? Has something happened? Are you upset about something? No, the HRT is clearly not working. Let's try something else or try a different form of it. But I just don't think that they should just give us a bit of, HRT and send us off on their way. I think they need to check in with us, see how it's going, give us options. I've complained. And you know what, though? I wanted to tell you this, actually. So I complained because basically I was feeling awful, even though I was on, in the end, patches. Went to see a private doctor, and they did the NHS GP had done my blood test, and the estrogen levels had come back, and they were really low, even though I was on the patch, and they didn't flag it. They flagged it as normal. So I said that to them. I said, well, I'm on the patch. I should have much higher estrogen. It's clear that it's not absorbing into my system. They were like, we don't recognise any actual estrogen levels on the NHS. I was like, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing the test then? And why? If you're not recognising estrogen levels, what the hell?
That's crazy.
What the hell's going on? Like, how are you supposed to even measure how this is working? So that was really annoyed me. So I'm in a bit of a battle with them at the moment, just for them to acknowledge that they need to actually, just look after us better.
Yes, yeah. If I could say anything to anyone going through that, I know it's really difficult when people consider going private because of how much it costs. But I wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It changed everything and it empowered me. And I think, it isn't okay that we have to do that.
No.
And they're just, and I know that the Newson Clinic are trying to change that. That it needs to be there needs to be re-education.
There does,
for
exactly.
women, because so many women are suffering. And at your very lowest points, I've had really dark days for me, and they were also red flags where I was like, this, I have to do something now, because trying to do it naturally and cope with it wasn't working for me.
No. Exactly. And I was feeling really, really anxious, really awful. But I'd had these blood tests from, my GP, and they said they were normal. And I thought, well, okay, this is just how I'm feeling then. And it took a lot for me. It took me going to see Dr. Newson's hormone show. I went to see her performance at a local theatre to me. And I came out going, right, I'm booking an appointment with someone. I shouldn't be feeling this anxious, shouldn't be feeling rubbish. And within 5 minutes of seeing someone, they go, yeah, your estrogen readings are really low. No wonder you're feeling like absolute crap. And so but then, like you've done, I've gone back to the NHS because, private's really expensive.
Yes,
and so try and get my prescription that way. But it's a battle, which it shouldn't be. Like you say, it just needs to be better.
Absolutely. Yeah. And no one deserves to feel like that. No woman deserves to feel like that. And not in midlife when you are juggling everything else. And I say midlife, for some women, it starts so much earlier.
Yes.
In their 30s, we are doing so many things. We deserve to be firing on all cylinders. When your body is losing hormones that you need, you have to replace them.
100%, exactly.
And I'm the type of girl that doesn't even take a paracetamol unless I really need to. But yes, it's a battlefield, unfortunately. But hopefully it will change. And I think talking about it.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Yeah. You doing this podcast and talking about it and talking about perimenopause generally and how we're feeling and all of that. It's just so good. So good to talk about it.
Do you know, I jump out the gym now. I'm like lifting heavier every week and hitting PBs. And I'm like, my life's changed. It's gone back to how it was.
Amazing.
And I don't ache for days and it doesn't hurt for weeks.
That's so good. I'm so pleased. Yeah, I'm so pleased. And I'm feeling less anxious now that I've gone to a different type of HRT, and it almost happened within a day. Yeah, which is crazy.
Yes.
So good. I'm glad. Good stuff.
It's so lovely talking to you.
You too.
Honestly,
you too.
You're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. So are you.
And I didn't know about your journey at the beginning, so it's just really, it's inspiring. We all look at each other and we go, well, look at that person, look what they're doing. Wow. We never stop to think about what goes into it. And the journeys on the way, the sacrifices that are made, the tough times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really nice for me because I'm like, oh yeah, I've done that stuff, because we are so hard on ourselves, aren't we? We're like, oh, I should be doing more things and I should be doing all this. You know what I mean? Thank you. Yeah.
We have to ask you about your bath time confessions. Are you a shower girl or a bath girl? All mums say shower, really, because it's just the easiest.
That's the thing, shower mostly. But I don't mind, if I've got a bit of time in the evening, I don't mind a nice, bath, or put on a bit of a meditation and do a nice hair mask and all that.
So you go a bit pampery.
I do go a bit pampery.
I like that.
Yeah, I do. But on occasion, not very often.
Like actually. A bit of a mini spa.
A mini spa, exactly. But generally shower and cold, like the end of it. But I do like ice. I'm like an ice bath fiend. I love it all. But so I do hot shower for a bit and then cold.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. You're very brave.
Like,
yeah. No,
yeah.
That's so true. I would scream.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I don't, like, if you're in Spain or somewhere and it's really hot and lovely, amazing.
Yeah.
But in this country,
I know, babe. Like, I know. Tell me about it. Yeah, I know. I'm a bit bonkers like that. I've just been to Iceland and jumped in icy lakes. Yeah, but this is not what you're asking me. Sorry, you're not asking me about ice bath.
No, but that sounds fascinating. Would you like to leave our wonderful female listeners with a great piece of advice from you, something that you've learned, something that you return to all the time?
The one thing I've been saying to myself a lot lately is there's nothing wrong with you. I feel like we always think we have to fix ourselves and, you know, oh, I should be doing more of this and I shouldn't be doing that. And, you know, there's something wrong with me that I feel like that. It's just like, there's nothing wrong with you, and just be nicer to yourself. You're just lovely just as you are. That would be my advice.
Love you so much. Thank you. Alyssa Kyria, the funny mummy. Thank you for being a guest on the Hot Mess Mums Club podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Kelly. It's been absolutely gorgeous.
We did it.
Yay!
That's it from us. Stay glowing and stay real with Magpie and the Hot Mess Mums.